Alright, what is up guys? It's Mad Tyro here. I just wanted to create a quick tutorial basically going over a lot of the changes to the rocket nozzle in Super Mario Eclipse in comparison to Super Mario Sunshine because the rocket nozzles basically had an entire rework done over how it works. So, first thing is that when you just charge it normally, it's pretty standard for what the rocket nozzle does. But in terms of speedrunning, one of the major things that was changed is that they actually patched out rocket storage. So you can normally do rocket storage by landing and storing speed like this, and then going into this sidestep mode and doing it like this. And then once you would sidestep off the ledge in Mario Sunshine, you'd get rocket storage. But in this game, that doesn't work. So that is one of the biggest changes to the rocket nozzle in Eclipse. Secondly, when there are certain states that you'd normally be able to charge the rocket nozzle again multiple times in, you can't do that anymore. So one of the major examples again for Mario Sunshine speedrunning is rocket rollouts. So if I could do one, dang. But yeah, you see how I'm holding R again afterwards and I still I can't charge another rocket after the rocket rollout? Because normally you'd be able to start charging another rocket and get multiple rocket rollouts after you do one. Another place where this has changed is for slope jumps. So same kind of thing, see how this is a slope? If you don't know about this, there's a slope jump tech where you get this super crazy high jump. And normally in Sunshine, you'd also be able to do multiple rockets out of this too. But in Eclipse, they don't let you do that. But the rocket nozzle has other altercations to it that make it buffed in Mario Eclipse. So I'm gonna just go over here for this. If you couldn't tell, that was me using one of the things. So one of the things that's different about the rocket nozzle is with Eclipse you can hover like this with the normal nozzle. That's just part of the game. But while you're doing this, you can also charge the rocket nozzle. And then this will give you this super speed water slide on here. There hasn't been like too many places where this has been like too useful, but it allows you to get a neutral jump, a different Mario Eclipse tech that saves and preserves a lot of height and speed. So this is still good, even just with the rocket nozzle normally. But where the rocket nozzle really shines is with the new mechanic that they added to it. So even though that they removed rocket storage and they removed like the multi-rocket rollouts, the main thing that they changed is they added something called a rocket dive. So the way that rocket dives work is that if you do a dive right before your rocket goes off like that, your dive momentum will be carried into your rocket. So this gives you a whole bunch of speed, right? So if you could see that if I just do a rocket like this, and my height, which is the middle value on my position, it gets up to like 25. If I get like a really good rocket dive, it goes a little higher. Yeah, that one went 27. But with this rocket dive, normally, so let's say you jump out of a normal rocket, for example, your height doesn't change. Like the only extra height that you get is like the height that you do beforehand. So like off the spin jump, for example, like that. But if I do a jump like here, it doesn't add any height to my rocket. But for rocket dives, that actually isn't the case. So, doing this and I jump dive out of my rocket, now I get additional height with my rocket dive in comparison to a normal jump dive. And this makes you go, see how I just reached 4,000 from that middle value? It makes you go really high. And because it's got this additional speed, you go a lot faster, right? Second thing, I kind of forgot to mention this, but with this rocket, while you're in the dive state, while airborne, you can charge the rocket again. So doing this, you could charge again, and then this will give you slightly more speed. It angles you slightly differently. But yeah, with the rocket dive, there's also the next step Because same thing, the rocket dive gains extra height because you add the jump height into your momentum with the rocket dive. You could do the same thing with a spin jump, and this gets you crazy amounts of height. Because there, I just reached 5,000 off of that spin jump rocket dive in comparison to the 4,000. So I just get an extra, yeah, I just got an extra 1,500 extra units of speed off the rocket nozzle with the spin jump rocket dive. So that's one of the major changes. The second major change is that your angle at which you use the rocket nozzle at while you're in your dive state will actually change your rocket nozzle trajectory. So if I do a super early dive, this rocket nozzle is going to push me like basically straight down out of my jump dive. You see how I go just like straight down after that? So I'm going to do this jump dive super early. Those ones are kind of, but even there, that's a good example, because now that jump dive is sending me kind of out, because I'm not doing it like super early. If I do this jump dive like super early, kind of sends me more, I need like to get higher to show like how it goes straight down. But yeah, if I just jump dive now, and then it pushes me downwards, I guess I could just do this too. I can just spin jump rocket dive and get like a really... But now that I'm pointing downwards, see how the rocket also points me slightly down? It'll do the same thing here too. If you do a late rocket dive, you'll get like less horizontal speed. Or if you do something like this, because you could also do it like out of jumps and stuff too. So if you're doing like movement or neutral jumps and stuff, and then you decide to change when you rocket out of it, you could still gain that extra speed and height or distance based on what you need to be doing. So if I'm like all the way up here, that's dumb. If I'm just like up here and I want to get like on top of this building, for example, doing like a rocket dive is probably not the best way to go about it, because I super overshoot this. You see how much higher I went over the building? It doesn't, I almost made that. It doesn't go exactly like where I want it to. I need to go get more water. But if I were to do either like a slightly earlier rocket dive, that one wasn't early enough, I guess. Now I land like right on top of the building. So it gives you like a slight bit of control with your rocket dives to determine how fast and how far or high you go. And you have like a lot of different tools with the rocket nozzle based on like being able to manipulate your speed and your jump heights with your various kinds of jumps, and the differences between like a normal rocket, rocket rollouts, and just like everything else. Not having rocket storage is like kind of unfortunate for a handful of things, but I feel like the changes are alright. It just is another thing that like really separates Eclipse from Mario Sunshine. So I just wanted to like get that out there for people to like know and understand and see how both games are different, because this game's really cool. I'm super excited for it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. That's gonna be it. I'm gonna be posting like more Eclipse tutorials on a whole bunch of stuff here soon. I'm probably going to have the wiki linked into this video, because that's where I'm going to start compiling all of the information for a bunch of various things and resources on Eclipse for things like any percent routes and other major skip tutorials and how you to do that. I'm going to have this on there. I'm going to have a link to the Eclipse speedrunning Discord if you have like questions or just want to like be part of the Eclipse speedrunning community. And then that's going to be down in here too. I'll have a link to the normal Eclipse Discord too, even if you just like want to play casually and hang out. So like, it's pretty cool. I'm super excited for this game, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and that's gonna be it for me. So I'll be seeing you guys.